And I have just time to skip through the rest of this stuff and read a story by Ezekiel Kralin before I play an episode of The Mysterious Traveler. Busy Mornings Suck is the title of this. Ezekiel Kralin wrote, email correspondence July 12, 2023. Subject, he didn't get evicted. Continued. Date, July 12th morning. He sure was pissed when the EMT strapped him onto the gurney against his will and carried him off to the hospital, I recollected with glee. Priceless, exclaimed Terry with an excited flap of his leathery wings. After wiping tears of hilarity from my cheeks, I took a deep breath and posed the following question. So now what, Terry? How do we go on from here? Tell him I know he wasn't 86th from his cabin? Grok. No, heavens to Betsy, don't do that. Just play along, act like he told the truth, but have fun with it too. Like offering again to contact the SFPD about his illegal eviction. Be adamant about it, outraged even. Whip out your smartphone like you're ready to dial. Yeah, I can do that, I replied with a smirk. Listen, Deke, I'm really upset they drove you out of there, and I know you said you hate the place, but maybe that's just sour grapes on your part. Let me call the cops right now and get this straightened out nifty-jifty so you and the dogs can get your shelter back. Ha! He'll probably ask what you mean by sour grapes, Terry retorted, then took off through the open window with a sudden thrust of his wings. A chill Pacific breeze wafted him upwards into the steely blue firmament. Scientists don't know this yet, but pterodactyl skin is like a chameleon, so they can blend in anywhere and not be seen, especially if it can shapeshift like Terry, since he's a spectral pterodactyl. He showed me his gift of camouflage one rainy day when we were both bored out of our skulls, and he suggested we play hide-and-seek. I agreed to that, though wondered how such a game can be executed in a single room 12 feet by 12 feet square. Then he shrunk to the size of a hummingbird and disappeared into the blue walls of my room. He won every single round, needless to say, but it was still fun, because he's quite the witty archosaur with a superb gift of gab, besides which these two superpowers are why he can also play fly on the wall and report back to me. So there you have it, Watson, straight from the proto-budgie's mouth. Signed, Zeke K. Holmes. P.S. The pups are here right now for our first pajama party in a long time. Deke dropped them off at 9 p.m. sharp, right in the middle of my composing this tale. Said he'll return at sunrise to pick them up. Works for me. Subject, the morning was like Grand Central. Date, July 12th, afternoon. For me, this means a run-in with 6 people in less than 20 minutes, all friendly except for one, I should note, but for cripe's sake, let me have my coffee and blueberry muffin first. Here are the mini-events in chronological order. 1. Deke called up to my window at 6:20 a.m. I was impressed by his low tone of voice that wouldn't wake up a titmouse. However, I am not a titmouse, thank Glob, and I had already gotten up to use the commode, then climbed back into bed, so I was awake when he summoned me. Bring me a soda, too, he said while I was looking down at him, so I replied, I'm not going to start running errands for you at this hour. I need my sleep. He said, okay, never mind, just bring the dogs. The pups were already eager to step out once they heard their master's voice. I first escorted Flacco down the stairs, opened the gate, and released her where she ran straight toward Deke, standing at the corner. Then I brought Lucky down, who started to play with me by pushing his little body back and forth between my calves and tugging on my pant cuff while I bent down to snap the leash on his collar. What a joy! Once both mutts were surrendered to their owner, I told him to wait a minute for his soda. Sidebar. To my sweet readers, fans, and devotees, in case you weren't aware of this, a titmouse is a type of bird, not a mouse. I didn't realize that either when it sprang into mind like a kangaroo rat after deliberating which living creature to insert in that sentence. So I decided to look it up to discover that it is indeed not a mouse, but a member of the avian family. As you can see, I kept my word anyway, concluding it's as good as any for my kind of convoluted prose. Factoid. I had originally typed flea before I decided to come up with a more appropriate life form in the context of sensitivity to noise. I did not, but it's still better than a flea and any boyfriend I've ever known. 2. It was a lovely dawn, but I slept until 9:30, whereupon I performed the usual ablutions before stepping out. On my curb down the stairs and into the lobby, I saw a tall Chinese fellow in PG&E uniform standing in the vestibule between doors and front gate, and it didn't look like he was going to step out of my way, darn it. Once I reached the doorway, he said he was from PG&E to check the whatever, I don't remember. And is there a manager he can speak with first? So I told him, well, he's on his deathbed, probably in the hospital. I haven't seen him for weeks, so we don't really have a functioning manager at this time. We do have one person taking over some of those responsibilities who's actually our maintenance man's apprentice. His name is Cortez, and that's his phone number right there. I pointed to one of 4 printouts taped to the right side door's glass pane. Oh, thanks. I should call him then, he spoke aloud. Yes, I agreed. I think that will work. But I'll be back in a few minutes anyway. I'm just going for coffee, so if you're still here, I'll see if I can help further. 3. So I finally got through the front gate and proceeded toward Noe Street, and guess who was standing on the corner turning his head about like he's trying to track someone down? Wes. He's that fucked-up, nasty, dirty old tramp who I only see here in the Castro when he's looking to score another lid from Deke, and who also insulted me some days ago by claiming the kinder I am to the pooches, the more they're going to bite. So I scurried through the intersection rather than be stuck standing near the dumb fool. Had he called to me, I wouldn't have acknowledged him, but he did not. 4. Just as I removed my goodwill mirror shades to enter Rosenberg's portal, this heavy-set, bald-headed fellow, standing by the counter with some boxes to deliver, grinned and waved at me. Hey, long time no see. How you doing? That was George, who used to work there, but has been handling delivery runs instead for almost 2 years now. Very nice guy. I said, great, good to see you too. His manifestation was so sudden I hadn't the necessary seconds to recall his name till after I finished pouring my Java and he was about to depart. Seemed to be a bit of an argument between him and Pallas over receipts. So I just waited by the Melita until George finally exited, but right before he did, I called out, "You have an excellent day, George." To be continued.